crystals, tarot cards, intentions when the full moon is there. That's what I was in. And everything I was kind of holding on to, everything I thought that made me feel dirty or whatever, I was like, hold up. Like, it's like, and God can do anything. So I know that this is like a moment where he just was like, I mean, not like a magical motion or anything, but my mind just was like, hold on. Like, Jesus came, he died on a cross for my sins. Like, I am free. And
so we're here, episode 11.2.
yeah.
Because we tried episode 11, but that didn't work out because my cards failed and we lost all the footage. And so we're back again. But this time it's going to be better. It's already off to a better start.
Yeah, it is.
Because we started like 1 hour after you got here last time.
That's true.
Because I was struggling to figure everything out. But now we're set. And episode 11, I got my sister-in-law, Stasha, over here.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
What's up? Yeah. Tell us about yourself.
Good. My name is Stasha. Married to this guy's brother. Got one son. Grew up here in Waipahu. What else?
But you grew up in other places, though.
Yeah, I frequently was at Lahaina, Maui, and Waianae.
Oh.
Because my dad's side, so I was there a lot. Yeah.
Where in Waianae?
Pililau Park, I think.
Oh, Waianae.
Waianae. Like, so the same where Auntie Mao's old house is.
Yep.
Right. Like, upstairs, I think ours was. My auntie's was, yeah.
No,
so
but theirs was upstairs too, though.
Okay, maybe ours was downstairs, but in the back.
Okay.
Because you go up a little stairs, but I think
that thing is still there, though.
Yeah, it's still.
I've seen it.
And it's so solid still. Yeah, and yeah, that was cool. That was a cool childhood. I like that. Waianae is so great, I think, till this day. Without whatever happening, it doesn't even matter. Like, Waianae is just, it's beautiful. I think the people are beautiful. I like Waianae.
I like Waianae too.
Yeah.
But man, that house, because it was that white house, yeah? You know what I'm talking
Silver,
about?
like, yeah, I mean, because it's brick. That, right? You're
on the
talking
bottom, though, yeah?
Oh, yeah. See, yeah.
I used to think that
so
was
solid.
such a fancy house. And then
Yeah.
I broke my arm at that park.
Oh, really?
Pililau Park, yep.
Monkey bars?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I feel like that's the story.
But I went to church and my parents thought I just was being a baby. So we went to church that night, hung out, and it wasn't until like nighttime they took me to the hospital and found out I had a broken arm.
Wow, how did you do that? All that.
I'm a beast.
Yeah. I feel like that's such a normal story. Everybody got their arm broken on the monkey bars. I used to want to have a broken arm, like, but I'm too careful because I wanted everybody to sign my cast too, and everybody was coming to schools with pink cast and blue cast. I know, I'm pretty sure it's like not the, you don't want it really, but I'm like, wow, how'd you do that?
The cast is not that great.
I bet, and I heard it's really itchy.
Itchy.
That's what would kill me.
I used to stick all kinds of stuff in my cast.
Yeah, people used to stick pencils, and they're just like, and then it doesn't smell great after you take it off. Yeah. Oh, that's.
No, think about not changing a sock for like 3 months.
No, that sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just the writing of the autographs everybody was getting. It was cool.
Man, the cast was so gross.
Oh my god.
So you grew up in Waianae and then Lahaina?
Lahaina, most of my weekends were there. That's my dad's other brother. So Waianae was my dad's, that's the middle brother. Maui was my dad's oldest brother. And I grew up there. My dentist was there. That's how much I went there. We grew up Luakini Street, right? Smack dab in the middle. Went to Viola Church. May it, hopefully one day it gets rebuilt. But
was it affected by the fire too?
Oh, 100%. Like burnt down to the ground. 7th generations of my family in that church.
Wow.
Baptized in that church. Like, yeah.
In that church? On your dad's side?
Church. On my dad's side.
Okay.
Yeah, on my dad's side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because last night when we were talking, your mom's side, they're actually Mormon.
Yeah, my great-grandparents who raised me on my mom's side, they're Mormon.
Mm-hmm.
So... Well, my great-grandma's Mormon. I'm not really sure where my papa was, but yeah, she was definitely Mormon. But yeah.
That's interesting, though. And I don't think we slowed down. we
that's
what
I was
last
thinking.
time.
Yeah.
What?
It's like, wow, everything went fast.
Yeah, what What was that like being raised by your great grandparents? So not even your grandparents, but your great grandparents.
It was different because they're older. They're old. Everybody has their mom and dad at these parent teacher conferences. I feel like that's what sticks with me the most is like, oh, my mom's coming, you know, because you have to wait with a few kids after school because you guys all have appointments on the same day, and you get to see everybody's parents, meet them, and then here comes like my grandpa like walking slowly, or my great grandma, and she's from a whole different era, so she's dressed different. Her hair is like permed different. I don't know like what it is, but she has the glasses like I don't know if it's like 80s or 70s, but like Selena's dad wears in the movies. That's what she wore, and like everybody's moms is young, wearing cool things, and so it was different. But also, I loved it. Everything they instilled in me because they were so old school, so traditional. I'm so lucky to have had that, and I think a lot of people my age didn't have that, so they caught on to a lot of things late. Yeah, but it was good.
And then that was like what years was that you was being
raised by them?
Yeah.
From birth all the way till she passed away when I was 18. He passed away when I was 20.
Oh.
Wait. Yeah, 18 and 20. So shoot, my whole childhood, everything, like, because she really didn't start getting bad until the last week of her life. That's where she's kind of gone already. But up until even that, it's, you know, they're consistently just being parents to a lot of us, you know. Yeah. So.
And how many siblings you had?
I have 4 siblings. Yeah. Me, my sister, my brother. Then we have another brother and sister. Yeah.
And you got a young sister, yeah?
Yeah. Jayzan, 12 years old.
What?
Yeah, I just told Dad that she's 12. And he's like, you guys are that far apart? And I'm like, yeah. Like, but even me and Portia were 4 years apart.
That's not that far apart, though.
It's not.
Me and Cams are 19 years apart.
Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah, but that's crazy, you know. But you and Kay are just a year apart. Yeah. Like, because I feel like once you have one, then you have another one not too shortly after. 4 years is not a lot, but with all my cousins, they all have like 1 year apart, 2 year apart. You know, I had to kind of wait a little while for my sister to grow up for us to kind of be on the same page. But yeah, it was cool. After that, it's like 6 years later, my mom had a kid. Then I think it was like 7 years later, she had the next one. And then just the last 2, they're 11 months apart.
Oh, wow. Okay. So they grew
just
up together.
Last 2. Oh, yeah. They look like twins. So, and I always tell them, like, you guys are so fortunate to have that, because I feel like who wouldn't want, you know, your best friend is your sister. Your best friend is your brother. I feel like my friends that I've made along the way have been my family for so long. I didn't have like such a close connection because my siblings were so younger, and I played mom, so it just wasn't like that. I felt like, I don't know.
Yeah, one of the cool things that you were talking about was you, from a young age, you remember just getting up and taking care of your siblings. What was that like?
It was. I want to say so annoying sometimes, so sad. When I think back to it, I want to cry for the little girl, because I'm like, you shouldn't have been doing that. And I know that my grandma, they all saw it too. They knew, like, what the heck, you know, like, she shouldn't. And I think they tried their best to give me a regular childhood, but because my mom was doing the things she was doing, it's just not possible. Like, I had to step up, and it was fine, though. In the moment, I'm like, well, heck yeah, my brother's hungry. What am I going to do? Like, these kids, before Cross, these kids are my life. Like, everybody, to me, I felt like everybody, they just had their sister, their brother, like, but they could all depend on your parents. Like, me is like, no, these kids depend on me. Not to discredit, like, my great-grandparents, because they helped so much. My grandma, she was doing her own thing, but she helped so much too, like, but we all didn't have parents. We didn't have our mom, and we didn't have our dads. So.
Oh, was that hard?
Very hard. There are times I remember, because I just remembered last night, there was this one time my mom had to leave. She was in some trouble, so she wasn't allowed to stay at home with us. And my sister could not stop crying, because she's younger and she didn't understand. At this point, I'm like probably 6 years old, 7 years old. I understand already. My great-grandparents, they like to sit me down and explain things to me about what's happening. So I remember holding her and just telling her, like, it's gonna be okay. Like, letting her know, like, mommy loves you. This is just what, you know, but she's a kid. She doesn't understand. She's just like, I want my mommy. How come I don't see my mommy? You know, whatever. But it was so hard. It's so heartbreaking. Like, and I felt like I had to protect them from just that young till now, till even now. So it's like no rest there. I feel like I don't get no rest with them or anything. I'm always continuously thinking like, oh, what are they doing? Are they okay? Even they're older. You know, my sister, she had a family before I did, but I'm still like, I feel like mama bear. You just have to always be be present, be, you know, consistent. So
how did that affect your relationship with your mom, since she wasn't, like you said, that you had to take care of your siblings and stuff like that?
So I always, I never blamed my mom for anything. I was never mad at her for anything. I loved her still. I loved her so much. She would be gone for really long periods at a time. But the moment she comes home, I'm running and I'm hugging my mom, not even questioning, well, where were you, you know, for the past 4 months or whatever. Like, I don't even care. I love my mom. But of course, we weren't as close as what other moms may be with their daughters, you know, because it starts to build. It starts to build where you realize, like, I don't think I know my mom that well. And you start to realize she don't know me that well because she's not home. I don't think I ever blamed her for it. I mean,
for not being present, you mean?
Yeah, I might have, you know, did it on purpose a couple times just to like say, you know, I'm doing this because you weren't there. But I didn't. Like, I just knew that was a way to get out of stuff. But really, really, like, I just feel like our relationship, to describe it, is all love. Like, at the end of it all, at the bottom of it all, behind it all, whatever it is, like, nothing can take that away from us. We may not be besties where we're telling each other secrets. She didn't know, till this day, I don't think she knows a lot about what I was like going through growing up. And it's because we're not open people. And I think maybe that's why, because I didn't have her growing up with me. And everybody knows old school people. So when you're raised, I think, by like these old school traditional people, they don't talk. They hate feelings, you know, like, everything is hold it in, you know, you're fine, you're tough, like whatever. So that mixed with, I didn't have my mom or my dad being like buddy with me. Everything is blocked off. Like, so it wasn't until really recently that me and my mom start to, I think, kind of let each other in. But before all of that, it was just that, like, we understand each other, that after, you know, no matter what, I love you, you love me. And we're going to do what we got to do to get through whatever we're going through. Yeah.
I think that's one of the most interesting things, because when we were talking about all of this, I couldn't tell. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like, seeing you and your mom.
Yeah.
When I see you guys, when she comes over, and it does look like you guys love each other so much. Yeah. And you guys are like, it seems like you guys are close. Mm-hmm. And which you are.
Yeah.
But like, how do you get through all of that? Because I've seen on the other side, people get hung up on the relationship with their parents, like, so, like, it was bad. Mm-hmm. You weren't there for me. Mm-hmm. Resentment. Mm-hmm. It affects them even into adulthood, which you would expect. You wouldn't expect it to.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah.
Right. But for you, it's different.
Yeah, because again, like, back to what I was being taught from my great grandparents and my grandma is just, I've never been told anything but that my mom loves me. They did talk to me about her addiction, and sometimes not in healthy ways, because they're angry too. They got to watch kids that they didn't make, like, totally understandable. So sometimes things did come out as, you know, not the nicest way to say things, but I feel like people should start to get it, like, how addiction works. So I think that because of how they sat me down, let me know everything, it got easier to just be like, I don't want to say, oh, that's not her, because I don't give people with addiction that excuse. You know what you're doing. I know it's hard to stop, but it's just, I don't know. It kind of was just like, I don't know. I just feel like I was taught to, like, let it go. Time, like, life is short. Let it go. You might not have your mom tomorrow. And I constantly thought about that. Like I said, like, she's gone for so long, but she comes home and all I want to do is be close to her. Like, I just want to hug her. I'm a little girl. I want my mom. So I'm not going to let this thing get in between that, because there's already something getting in between that. Her addiction, you know, like, I don't want to add to that. That's what it is. Like, I don't want to fight fire with fire, because what are you going to get? You just get a bigger fire. Like, I feel like someone's got to be the bigger person. And does it suck that it has to be the kid? Yeah, but then if you're going to live by that, it's going to suck forever. It might suck forever because your parent, your mom that you have some kind of rift with, like, might not ever grow up or might not ever own up to their mistakes. And where does that leave you? I mean, I know some people, though, I think the thing nowadays is cut them off. They're toxic. You know, like, even if it's your own mom, they're toxic. And it's a preference. But I just kind of feel like...
You couldn't do that.
Oh, no, I couldn't. It's your mom. You know, like, I don't know if it's because people are raised different or the culture is different, but no. Because I know, and I don't know if that's a thing. Maybe it's the relationship everybody has, but she's not there. She's doing whatever she's doing. She's leaving us. She's hiding from us when we're trying to look for her to come home. That's all hurting me. I'm like, why does my mom not want to come home? But okay, we're going to go to sleep, wake up tomorrow, and we'll figure out what we're going to do. But it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to add to it. Yeah. I think that's what it was.
Do you think that you came to a place at that young age of forgiveness, or you think that it was just...
Yes. And I think, and I feel like everybody in my life that knows me really well would agree, I master forgiveness. Like, I don't want to, I don't want to brag. I don't want to have no pride in nothing.
It's all right. Talk your talk.
I'm just saying, like, I mastered forgiveness. And I don't know, though, if it comes from, like, I really, really was, like, forgave her. I don't even think I was that mad in the first place, because there's just so much going on in life. I cannot sit here and worry about this or let it get to me. And I think that's what people do wrong, is they sit there and they let everything, you know, but I know it's a hard place to be in. We've all had our moments, you know, but I think I've mastered it pretty well.
So there was forgiveness.
100 times over.
Yeah. Because I'm wondering, like, if there's, because there are people who, and I'm not saying that you do this. I'm not saying that, but there are some people who they don't want to deal with, like, a hard conversation, or they don't want to deal with the issue.
Yeah.
And so they just kind of, like, it's not forgiveness. It's just kind of like numbing themselves to the problems and just not thinking about it. But you weren't there.
I'm not there.
Okay.
I'm like, I want to have the hard conversations. And maybe it's because of all those conversations I had growing up. I'm kind of like, well, why don't you want to have the conversation? Like, let's do this. I don't see why we're not going to. And I also think I've seen a pattern in the people in my life that I've come across, that it's usually the people who are in the wrong that don't want to have those conversations. And that's totally understandable. I think hurt people are also hurting that they hurt people. You know, it's still like, I do understand that in a way, but yeah, I think I love having the hard conversations. I love having the awkward conversations. Like, there was a lot of fighting, you know, where we grow up, everybody wants to fight in school and stuff like that. And I'm not saying I was, like, shying away from all of that, but most of the time I'm just like, well, why are you mad? You know, like, oh, you want to fight me? Why? And a lot of them can't even answer it, you know? And I'm just like, why can't we just sit here and think about, like, why are you mad at me? And, you know, the school, like, high school kids, like, especially here, like, they don't want to talk. They want to just throw a fist and fight. And I'm like, see, I think we were just all raised differently. Yeah. You know? Yeah. They're not having hard conversations, and they, you know, yeah. Yeah,
I think, yeah, like, with growing up in Waipahu or Hawaii in general too, and like, people want to fight is usually right. Like, there are times when you might have to fight.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure there are those times that you had to, but there's a lot of times when you end up getting into a fight just because of pride. Like, meaning like there are times when you get into a fight and either you don't want to fight, or you're kind of scared, and you don't want to deal with it, the consequences, like, and you're like, no, but I have to, because, right, all of this stuff. It takes a lot more. It takes a lot more in you to just walk away.
Yeah, it does.
and to just, like, forgive and to, like, show forbearance and move on, because
it does.
Nobody wants to be looked at as a loser.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be looked at as weak.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be seen as those things.
Yeah.
And so you end up getting into, I mean, a lot of those kinds of things. Yeah. But that's cool that you and your mom were able to work through it. You guys feel like you guys have worked through it, though.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'll make jokes here and there, because that's the thing. We can laugh about these things. And I don't know if that's just maybe it's a coping thing with us, but no, like I'll laugh about it. I don't truly care that you never did my homework with me. You know, I love that you're doing it with my sister every day. I love that my siblings have you present, you know, like, and I always tell her like, hello, I'm just joking, but it's come to that I love my mom. And I know that in the event that I did find her, okay, on the streets or whatever, and I needed her, she would be there. Like, I don't think it's in a mom to not love their kid. So I don't know. Yeah.
No, that's one of the coolest things. I was like what you said earlier really kind of hit home when you said hurt people are also hurt about the fact that they hurt people. Yeah. It's like, like even when it comes to like sin and things like that, right? Like there's the sin and you feel guilt and shame for your sin, but then also you feel guilt and shame for the fact that you feel just terrible because you sinned, right? And so there's these emotions. There's like not just how you feel, but how you feel about how you feel, right? So you're like, why am I like when you're angry at yourself for being angry at something stupid, right? Like things like that. Yeah. And so we all can relate to that, right? We all can relate to struggling with things that was just hard for us to get out of on our own, right? And it's cool that you're able to, from a young age, it seems like, extend that to your mom.
Yeah, and that's why I say to this day, I'm like, God was always there. Because I feel like, because you learn everything in the Bible and you're like, I wasn't perfect, but I kind of was steering to what he wants us to do when we handle issues and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's crazy because the Bible wasn't being preached to me. And whatever I was learning in whatever church I was going, I knew it wasn't sticking at all. I just knew, Jesus died, all this and that. But when I look at what I know now and I'm thinking about how I grew up, I'm like, wow, God was always there. Some shape or form,
just there.
He was just there.
When so tell me about that part. Tell me about how you came to faith, when you came to faith, and like what was it like growing up? What was your faith like growing up? And then when would you say you became a believer?
Our faith growing up, I think it was more cultural, I want to say, because we believed in Jesus. We prayed a lot. I mean, we prayed before meals. We prayed, like for certain events or whatever. We did the whole, sometimes church on Christmas and church on Easter. Wow. But I never knew like in depth, like who, God was and stuff. But so it was that for a while.
But you call yourself a Christian?
Yeah. No. It was 100%. Like because I did get baptized in the Mormon church and everything. And the way I got there is because I had really, really, really bad anxiety of the world ending.
Hold on. What? You got baptized in the Mormon church?
Yeah.
You got a temple recommend?
What does that mean? I don't even know. Like what does that mean?
You went to the classes and everything? Or?
I went to the classes.
In the morning, 5 in the morning.
Wait.
Was it in the morning? Or I don't know how it works, actually.
I went to classes, but I don't think I went 5 in the morning. Okay. So I'm not sure. But I was like 3rd grade. I don't know if it works differently for kids, but... Yeah. I don't know about no temple recommend, but I put the white jumpsuit on.
I think that's what it's called. I could be wrong. I gotta check myself.
And I got dunked in their pool. But
and that was through your great grandparents.
That was through my great grandma because she called the what are they? Missionaries. Elders. She called them over because I was having panic attacks.
What age was this? 3rd grade?
Yeah.
Okay, so you probably had some things that you were dealing with. You have panic attacks.
It's because I learned. Because I learned I was going, so before that, I went to Word of Life for like 6 months.
All the way in town?
All the way in town when they had the fun kids game room with all the Mickey, big cardboard. Yeah, like you go to the parking lot, you hop on the bus. Yeah, like all of that where Veggie Tales was on Queen Street or something like Queen Street. Yeah, we were like, I was a Word of Lifer.
It was popping back then.
It was so much fun.
I wonder if it's still popping. Is the youth group popping at Word of Life? I don't know. Maybe.
I'm not sure. I do see some people go. I do see their services, and it looks just like a lot. But I don't think it was popping like how it was. It was popping back then. They were having CD sales, everything. So, but I didn't usually go to the kids side. I kind of always went to where the adults were, but one time I did go to the kids side, and they talked about, lying. And the way this one junior leader explained it was, don't lie to your parents, because if you lie to your parents, you're going to burn in hell. Oh. No, and he did exactly this. You're going to burn in hell forever. So for eternity. And this means eternity. See the circle, it never ends. And I'm like, my God, like I've lied to my parents before. Like I've lied. And I'm just like, I start just like I couldn't handle it. I wanted to get out of there. We go home. I tell my uncle, my auntie, my uncle, they're the one that they were taking me there. And then my uncle brings up something, and he says it in a jokingly way, but he talks about Revelation. He talks about, well, one day God's going to come and everything's going to set on fire. And I start hyperventilating even more. And I want to go home. I go home and I start crying and shaking. And I'm like, oh my God. So my great grandma, being the good Mormon that she was, is like, you're never going to that church again. And she called the elders right away, you know. So that's how I got into the Mormon church, because I don't know if people know, but their belief of the afterlife is a little softer. So it was kind of nice. I'm like, oh, so I mean, if I do go to the place with just that's as bright as the moon shining, then I'll be okay. Like I can deal with that much light. There was no hell. There was no eternal fire. So that's how that happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you were going Word of Life from a young age.
Yes.
With who?
With my auntie, my mom's sister.
Okay, with your auntie. But you're being raised by your Mormon great grandma.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
But like I said, like it was more cultural when we prayed. Like they never like sat us down. They never talked about Jesus. They never talked about their Mormon beliefs. Like all I know is 2 guys in white with black ties would come over every so often. That's all I knew of the church that she was going to. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until they invited me after all that breakdown and everything to come. Then I was going to like classes, learning about that we can't drink Pepsi and all this and that. So
you never drink Pepsi growing up?
I didn't drink Pepsi for that period. That period didn't last though. Sorry.
Third grade to
maybe, I want to say like to maybe the middle of 4th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like the ending of 2004. And then I don't remember anything else. Oh, and then I started, because I'm in Waianae a lot. My auntie was going to this church in Pearl City. I'm not sure what the name is, but it's like kind of like up a hill. They were Christian, but again, like I kind of like worked in the nursery a lot with my cousin. I wasn't really, again, like not hearing much about it. I would see them praying. They kind of pray. Never mind, we can cut that part out. I don't want to talk about my auntie. But
it was different.
It was different because they kind of do, I don't know what it would be called, but like while they're praying for someone, they're kind of like dusting the spirits away. Okay. I don't know what that's called, but I know they were called Christians, or they were calling themselves Christians. And Mormons call themselves Christians too. So this whole entire time I'm like, oh, I'm a Christian. And my auntie, when I went to the Mormon church, she's like, why are you there? Like, come back to Word of Life. And she was telling me like, it's better to be a Christian. And I think she didn't get it. Now that I know, she didn't really get it, but she was kind of like on, maybe it sounded better. I don't know. So I had this feeling in the back of my head, like, okay, whatever I do, I know I need to be Christian. Mm-hmm. Like, just had this feeling. But fast forward. So, yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead. What?
No, you can fast forward. Go ahead.
Fast forward. My auntie them leave when I turned 7th grade, so I'm done going to that church. But again, I feel like it's not really like in my life. It's just around me. It's not being sit down and listen to this and all that. But then from 7th grade to probably, I don't know, when did I first go to Great Life? Was it 11? I think 11th grade. All I had was my dearest friend, Carmen.
You met her in 7th grade?
I met her in 7th grade. On the first day of 7th grade, we just celebrated 16 years of friendship.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was just her. She was the only one. Literally the only student I know.
Carmen's my sister.
Yeah, Carmen's his sister. That just, and she wasn't giving me deep lessons, just kind of like, if I'm swearing, man, Stage, stop talking like that, you know, this and that. If I'm doing something else, oh, you know, that's not cool. God says this, and that. And I don't know if people wrote her off as like, oh, the annoying Christian friend, but I kind of always just like kept her close, because I was like, I just feel like this is a good person. Like, this is good people. Because she's kind of, we don't get all mushy and stuff with each other, but like she's kind of going against the grain of everything that we're surrounded by right now. And I think like our roles in school was very different. So like we're kind of a part of different crowds, but it was kind of like amazing that we were friends. And I think I'm a part of this crowd where all that is just mumbo jumbo or whatever. But something in me, again, is just like, you have to stay close to her. You have to listen to her, you know, whatever. And so that's how it happened. And she kept going on.
And then followed Jesus and you lived happily ever after.
Yeah, something like that. That's fast forward. But yeah. And then she invited me to her church, I think 2010, maybe. It was like kind of like a Word of Life-y church, but it was like Great Life or whatever. Didn't understand anything they were talking about either. And I would tell her that. But again, she just tried to keep me grounded, I guess. She's going to your guys' study groups or care groups, whatever. And she's coming back to me and telling me like, hey, we learned this, we learned that. And I was always just intrigued, I guess you could say. And I think I started reading the Bible more in 2014. 2012, because I thought the world was ending. So here's my anxiety back again. I feel like my throat's closing, everything. Like my anxiety was bad. And Carmen and Kale know that. Like we were already friends, and I'm just like messaging them and I'm like, oh, did you guys hear about this? Da, 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 da. Like, you know, and then Carmen's like, oh my gosh, just like God said this, like just relax, you know. And she sometimes wouldn't even respond because she's over it. And I'm like, okay, let's just read the Bible. I downloaded the Bible app and I would do Bible plans. I had no direction. I'm just kind of like, okay, if it's on this app, it must be good. So there was that. And then New Hope. I was at New Hope after that. On and off, I mean, but. And
you call yourself a Christian at this time?
At the time, I was calling myself a Christian, but now that I know better, I was no Christian. Like, I think at that time, God was, which is a good thing. The scriptures that I was reading was kind of calming me down from all of my anxiety. I loved that. So I'm like, of course, I think like back then, I'm like, of course, like, you know, like, and mind you, through all of this, there's not a doubt in my mind that God is real. I just don't have it all. I don't have it put all together in my mind about what that means. But yeah, so I was reading scriptures that was calming me down, and I think I just liked that. That's for a couple years, and then I want to say 2018, the end of 2018, and still all this time Carmen's keeping me close, trying to get me to do right, trying to get me to come to their church and stuff like that. And I'm kind of just like, I read the verse of the day every day, and you know, I was one of those people like, I don't need to go to church, you know, God knows my heart and stuff like that. So that was that for, 4 years or whatever. And then 2018 came. I went through a really bad episode in my life where I was just felt dark and empty. And then I felt like God wasn't telling me the things that made me feel good. He was telling me like all of us, when, you know, a lot of people that they don't even know that they're doing is, you're rejecting him because for yourself. So I started doing that. I started rejecting him completely. And at the time still one of my really good friends, they filled my head up with, what is it called? New agey stuff. So I dipped into that. And at the time it was popular.
Like what's new agey stuff?
Crystals, tarot cards, intentions when the full moon is there, manifesting, all of that. Like I wanted that to be real. You want it to be real because it gives you, it's promising you what you want. So that's what I was in. Yeah. And okay, so mind you, sorry. Ever since that 3rd grade breakdown, I've prayed every night. I don't miss, because that same night of that 3rd grade breakdown, we had a storm in Hawaii. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was 2 twisters that we had. Like it was twisting, the bad rain. That scared me because I thought, this is it. This is the revelation that my uncle was talking about. So the next day I wrote and I started praying nobody told me to, but I felt like that's what I'm hearing, right? Like you got to go to God for all your problems. So I'm like, hey, every night I prayed. When I'm in this new agey stuff, it's a habit already at this point. And I'm like, okay, I'm praying. And I'm like, wait, who am I praying to if I don't believe in God? But still, at the end of every prayer, it's like, in his powerful name we pray, you know, like, amen. Then one day, my friend was talking to me about her issues. And she said, like, you know, I think I just need to go to God. And I looked at her and I feel, oh my gosh, I still feel guilty to this day. I felt, I don't know, I kind of felt like almost evil in that moment when I said, God's not real. And I've never said that in my life. And you know how I said, like, all that time, to me, there's no doubt in my mind that God's real. So when I said that, I immediately felt disgusted with myself. I was like, what the heck? Like, you sound like these idiots, you know, like, oh, sorry, sound like these people who don't believe in God, you know, like, sorry. Just so happened.
The fool says in his heart, there is no God.
Just so happened that day, that was on a lunch break at work. I went back to work. Carmen texts me and says, do you want to come to the Hillsong concert with me and Leah? And I'm like, okay, why not? I loved their music at the time. So we go, and I'm just, you know what their music does to you. So I'm like, man, and they're saying stuff because their music has Bible verses in it, you know?
I love it.
I know, yeah. They have Bible verses in it. And I start asking Carmen questions. Wait, why did they say this? This doesn't make sense, you know? Start questioning. And she's like, oh, you know, whatever. And I think Leah even told her, wait, Stasha's a believer? Because I have my hands up and I have my eyes closed. And I'm just like, you know, and I'm like, dang, am I? You know? Then we start running at Coalina, you know, getting fit. And again, these questions are just coming. I'm trying to reject them. Like, that's
questions from Carmen.
From me.
From yourself.
I'm asking Carmen, what do you mean? And at this point, because of that break because our friendships have breaks, you know, where we don't see each other for a while. And I think since from the last time she saw me, it was like, yeah, I'm a believer. Till this time, now I'm on new agey. I think she's kind of just like, what the heck? You know, like, she didn't have to explain this deep before, but now I'm like, I want to reject it. So she's telling me these things and I'm like, no, but the stars is in Jupiter and I was born on January 11 at this time, you know, like, and she's just not having it. But I'm not. Like, I don't know, I want to say now, like, my spirit's not having it. My spirit knows I'm being so stupid. And I just keep going. I just keep asking questions. And then she told me, just come to church, dude. She told me to come to church because I had another like panic attack. So I went to church. Her and Kea picked me up. We went to church. And their pastor there was doing an assurance of pardon. And that's when I felt like this is so... It sounds magical, but it is magical. God is magical, man.
We live in the magical world that God made.
We sure do. Like, So he's doing the assurance of pardon, and he's reading a verse and letting us know, like, just know, beloved, that you are forgiven, you are free. And everything I was kind of holding on to, everything I thought that made me feel dirty or whatever, I was like, hold up. Like, it's like, and God can do anything. So I know that this is like a moment where he just was like, I mean, not like a magical motion or anything, but my mind just was like, hold on. Like, Jesus came, he died on a cross for my sins. Like, I am free. And since then, I feel like that was it. That was that changing moment. What was that? 2020.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
COVID year.
Oh, 2019. Yeah, 2020. Yeah. Because we were outside.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I think that's
really that's a lot.
That's a lot,
man.
It's a lot. I was bad for so long, and then boom, he saved me. I feel like he was always there. Then I just wanted to reject him completely, and he said no. I was that one.
Wow.
That went away from the 99.
That's amazing.
It is.
And so here's back to your Hillsong comment. Oh. I like their music, and it does make you feel something.
It does.
But what's interesting is, like, when you do an assurance of pardon, something that, like, for a lot of people, it's part of the liturgy, so you just do it, and you know, it feels religious too. I mean, it feels like a thing that you just do, and sometimes it's good. It's a good thing to do in a service, in a worship service, in a worship gathering. We don't have assurance of pardon in the same way you guys do, but we assure people those who belong to Christ every Sunday. But even in that, you felt something. Yeah. You felt the relief of the gospel. You felt the forgiveness. You felt the cleansing, right? You felt like, and people always emphasize it's not a feeling. At the same time, at the same time, it's not devoid of feeling coming to the gospel.
I feel like,
like if you're not excited about the gospel, then I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like if you're more excited, like if you can watch a football game and jump up and down like an idiot, right?
Yeah.
But then the gospel, the fact that you've been cleansed from all your sin, doesn't get you jumping up and down sometimes.
Yeah.
I think that's a you problem, not
definitely
right. You know what I mean? And so that's cool that you had that and that feeling. So when you come to believe the gospel, you come to believe in Jesus, what changes immediately?
Almost everything. Things I want to do, things I want in life. I am a wife and a mom now. I have never wanted that in my life. Like the Instagram memes, I wanted to be the rich auntie that spoils her nephews and her nieces, but never wanted kids. And I think that stems from I had to raise my siblings. I know how hard it is, okay? But just never wanted it. Never wanted the nuclear family or anything. But immediately I wanted it. Like, immediately I'm texting Carmen like, oh my gosh, I hope I have, 2 kids and the whole white picket fence, big American house, like
in Hawaii.
In Hawaii. So, yeah. But
no, so you wanted to be a mom.
I wanted to be a wife. I wanted to be a wife. I wanted to serve in that way, I guess. Like, I think what it was because I was rejecting, because I think even we're just wired. Women are wired to, I believe women are wired to want that, even if they say they don't or whatever.
I never identified as a woman, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, nowadays you can, so. No, but, yeah.
Will saying you can get us boosted up the algorithm? Because if so, you can.
You can identify as anything. Anything as
you can.
Or whatever.
You can, technically.
You can.
Okay, anyways.
I'm gonna okay. But also I loved doing stuff that wasn't, in line with the gospel, like drinking and just going out with friends, getting
drunk.
Yeah. Sorry, getting drunk, getting drunk. I mean, just a bunch of influences. Even just the scenes that I was around, all of it changed. So much so that the friends I've had for years, you start to kind of drift away, everything. I think even the way I started responding to people when they came to me about their issues, because I'm that friend, like they want to talk to me, whatever, tell me what they're going through. And
not ni ele, but I'm here to listen.
Not ni ele.
Not ni ele. I'm not asking for this.
Yeah, and half of the time it's like, I care about you. I don't really care about this issue because, but I care about you, so I'm going to listen. And it went from, whatever stupid advice. It was good advice. I just think it wasn't biblical advice to biblical advice to you don't want God involved. Don't ask me. I did a TikTok on that.
Really?
It's just like a sound, whatever. But yeah, if you don't want God involved, don't ask me. And it was amazing. I feel like, what do they call like a baby Christian when you're kind of just in that stage where you're like, I figured it out. I want to tell everybody. But I also want to tell everybody how wrong they are. So not the best stage to be in, but
yeah.
I was getting it.
and you I think everybody goes through that phase.
Yeah.
The thing that really helped me was I had a lot of people in my life when I was younger. Like one pastor asked me the question, and he asked it to the whole group, not just me, but I feel like he was speaking to me. And he was like, I don't understand why, like, you guys who talk about the grace of God do it in such a mean way. Like, your words aren't seasoned with salt. You're not gracious as you're talking about the grace of God. Yeah. As if we weren't so far off. As if like when I think about it, when I think about how God worked in my life, it really was his kindness through other people that led me to repentance, right? Led me to believe, right? And God is the one that determines the method for sure. Like meaning like God is the one who points us to how to share the gospel, how to evangelize, how to talk about Jesus with other people, how to confront people. But the times when I've been confronted on my sin that have led to the biggest impact in my life have been times when guys sat me down graciously and confronted me graciously.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And didn't like, I never had the moment where somebody went like, you're a sinner and you're going to hell. And I just went, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't know, but now that I know,
yeah,
I gotta repent. You're right. You know, like I never had that. You know, it was always like God being super kind to me through my friends, through these other people. That led me to actually repent. You know, it helped me to see like, oh, okay, you know, those guys love me, or that's loving. You know, they like it's removing every other stumbling block. Like if you're gonna let people stumble over anything, don't let it be your tone. Don't let it be like, let it be the gospel. Let it be the fact that Jesus really lived, Jesus really died for your sins, and he really rose again. Yeah. And that's enough for people to be like, that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It is. And Jesus is the Lord. If you reject him, you reject life. Yeah. That's enough.
That was so nice. I need to use that because I'm still kind of learning. Yeah. But I think it's because naturally one of my downfalls is that I am judgy. I'm judgmental. So I think when I started to get it, you know, it's not easy to release your old self. So I'm still kind of going with that. Then I started seeing like, I don't know, like quotes by like really smart guys who study the Bible that, like, what is it? Theology without love, you know, is not the way you want to go. Even love without theology. I saw like a thing about that. I don't know who said it.
Yeah. Speak the truth in love. If you don't have love, you're a clanging cymbal, a noisy gong. Yes. 1 Corinthians 13. Yes. We'll preach it on it, by the way, in a couple of weeks. Yes. But yeah, like you're just a clanging cymbal. At that point, like you're no good to anybody. Yeah. Right? If you don't have love. And again, not the way the culture defines love, because love doesn't always mean like tell you what you want to hear. The love doesn't always mean like, you know, never gonna offend you. But love there is something about love that we recognize. This graciousness. And,
the softness
of it, the gentleness of it, right? No. Which is like when God tells husbands to love your wives as Christ loved the church, right? Yeah. Wrapped up in those commands is like not only a sacrificial being sacrificing, but there's also the fact of live with your wives in an understanding way. Yeah. Live with her as if she's the weaker vessel. So there's this gentleness that you got to have with your wife. Yeah. And so there's a gentleness that you got to have with love. Like love is gentle, right? Yeah. Love is kind. Yeah. And I think that it's patient. Easy. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's easy online to forget those kinds of things, or it's easy through text to forget those kinds of things.
That's true.
Because I've always really spoke harshly to people through online or text. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But in person, it's harder. It's harder because you're dealing with a person and you remember that. I think it's easy to forget that when you're talking online and you're speaking the gospel online, you're not speaking to just statistics and handles and, you know, profile pictures or avatars. You're speaking to actual people. Yeah. And I think that's easy for Christians to like engage in the game the world plays, doing that kind of stuff, taking, you know, whereas like, but our standard is not the way the world plays the game on social media. Yeah. Our standard is the way Christ conducted himself. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so, yeah. I'm learning that too, though.
Yeah, like I think I'm so much better than I was, but I think, like I said, naturally I was just really a judgy person, and I'm so tough. Like tough love is a thing. So like how you say like you did it more on text and online, it was easy for me to do it in person too, because I was already that person. Like, you want to know what I really think about you, you can go ask Stasha. Like, you know, like I'm gonna tell you, like, you know, and so when it came about this, that's why I said like, oh, don't let me get a hold of this. Cause now it's like, I'm just going to tell you straight. Well, this is what it is, you know, but I like to say it in person because I feel like texts get taken wrong. You just think I'm being mean. But if we have a conversation and I am saying like, yeah, but this is what it is. But you know me, you know, you're like, no, but Stasha just really cares, you know, like, but I don't know, maybe not. Maybe some people don't take it the way I think they're taking it.
Well, like, what is your friendships like? Because with friends that aren't Christians anymore.
Well, we're all still like, I mean, I don't hang out with them as much as I used to. I don't.
Well, you're a mom.
Yeah, because I'm a mom. I'm a wife, you know. But if I wasn't a mom and a wife and I was a Christian, we'd still be doing lunch dates, you know, like. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. They know me. They know that this tough love thing, even though they don't want to hear none of it, they understand that that's the way I love.
You were about this life even when you were not walking with Jesus, you were still this way.
Yeah, I was still this way.
Telling you what I believe.
Yeah.
Telling you what I think you should do.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
So now you're a Christian, and now
that's what I'm doing.
But this is my personality, and this
but
how
now it's like
for Jesus.
Yeah. Now it's like you got to relax a little, back it up. It can't always be flipping tables, you know, So yeah, but and I think a stranger more so, or someone I just met, I might be a little nicer because you don't know how I am. So you might take it wrong. But that's rare that a random stranger is going to come up and start talking to me about their problems. So
yeah, that is rare.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a possibility.
It's a possibility. You should be ready in season and out of season. But man, that would be strange.
That would be. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, so that's like your faith journey is like,
ooh.
It's almost
a
windy road.
Contradicting too, like a whole. Oh my gosh, I don't know. It's so hard to explain something about a season you were in, then say you were in this season. It's like, yeah, but why did you? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I was just kind of going with the flow, you know, like a dead fish. Dead fish go with the flow.
Yeah. What? So knowing that when you think about all of your journey walking with the Lord and where you're at now, what makes you so sure? What makes you so sure that
this is
it? You know, since you've been through so much, you've been through so many different things. Because
the peace that you feel is crazy, and I want it for everybody. I cry when I think about this peace that it gives you. Because that's what we're doing, you know, with all these bad things, with all these other things that we believe, we're filling a void. And it's hard to convince people, but when you fill that void with Jesus, like the right way, you can never go wrong. Like even in your worst times, I don't want to say that because it's a sensitive time right now, but just even in your worst times, the peace that God gives you, the Bible, and my husband always used to tell me through the years, like, oh, there's nothing new under the sun. I don't know. I thought he was just getting quotes from Tumblr or something, but no, it's in the Bible.
That's Ecclesiastes.
It's in the Bible.
He was using Ecclesiastes and looking smart. I should have did that.
Yeah, no, and yeah, smart, but no.
I couldn't pull that one. You know why?
Dang.
My wife was Leah.
Yeah.
And if of course you're like, you misquoted it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I'd be like, okay, I guess, but then I read it and I'm like, oh, but then you start reading more books and you're like, this Bible covers everything. Any situation that you think it doesn't touch up on, wrong, it does. Maybe not specifically, maybe not, hey, Martha, you didn't get this job because of this, but it's in there.
It can be applied to all of life.
And honestly, you just got to read it. Like, and a lot of people who reject it haven't read it. A lot of people, but I know, there's a higher tier to that. But I just think
what you're saying, most people don't reject the Bible having thought about it logically.
Yeah. Yes.
Most people don't. Most people, and to be fair, most people that come to believe in Christianity don't just believe it because they came to it logically.
Yeah.
Some people that's the case, but most people that we interact with, most people that either reject it or don't reject it, accept it.
Yeah.
They come to it based on just things they think.
Yeah.
And connections they make or the way someone made them feel.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of things going on. And we know as Christians that when we come to believe, it's because of the grace of God. It's because he opened our eyes and he made us love something that we would have hated otherwise.
Yep.
But for other people, I do notice that, man, they reject the Bible. They reject a God they don't even know.
Yeah.
Intimately. They don't know well, even though Romans 1 does say that although they knew God, they did not acknowledge him, right?
Yeah.
But they gave themselves over,
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I think that is true. That people, sometimes they don't know what they're rejecting.
Yeah.
Cause the sad part too is as a pastor, right? Sometimes you deal with, other people that have been hurt by the church.
Yeah.
And they they can't do Christianity because of people in the church that have hurt them. And I know that there's sin involved in every situation like that. Even on the person that says I'm going to reject you because of how somebody else treated me. Dude, why would you reject Jesus?
Yeah.
At the same time, man, they're the way we treat people and the way that we interact with people does have an effect on You know, it does have an effect on people and their receptiveness to the gospel.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like that's why it's so sad, because I get it. I get it when these people are talking bad about Christians, you know, like I've met those, or anybody, I don't want to just say Christians, any church people, like I get
Anybody
it.
trying to convince somebody
of anything. Like I get it, because some people only ever run into the wrong people, and that's so sad. But yeah, I'm just here to say it's not, we're not all like that.
So what was like, after you became a believer, how has your relationship been like with family? That
I mean, it's good. I think they're just kind of my family is very respectful. Respect is super big on that side, my mom's side. So it's never no what do you want to call, like, just dismissing me or whatever.
Hostile.
Yeah, never.
Yeah.
But which is kind of like not always the right thing to do, because if I was doing something bad, I would like some hostile response of stop. But no, yeah, they take to it well. They've all already asked me so much questions, like what happened, or how did you come to this, or oh hey, I read this, what is, and I don't know, like right now I can't say that they're saved, but I can only hope. And just these questions alone are so I love it. So
it seems like the Lord's moving,
yeah. But again, with them, everything in my response has God involved. You know, like they want to vent about something. I'm like, well, if you know, I mean, I have to be more gracious, but it's like, well, if you just you know, God this and God that, the peace.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing. I didn't separate. I mean, you know, I don't have those stories where family, because I hear those stories where families are just like,
oh,
I don't want nothing to do with you.
You're done.
Yeah, but no, it's not like that.
No, that's awesome. That's good. That's good. Yeah. I mean, I think for me, I'm expectant. So I know, like, in my theology, I know God is the one who saves.
Yeah.
Like, and we don't control to get saved. But I live with like an expectation that if someone is like around me and I'm a Christian, I'm like, God wants to impact their life. Like God wants them to be saved. Like, keep talking to me because we're going to talk about Jesus, you know? But it's not like I'm not a salesperson. I'm not like peddling it, but I just know, like, man, you get so much more peace and you get so much more relief. Like, I know how messed up a person I am internally. I know how broken of a person I am. And I know I'm not alone. Like, maybe I'm arrogant and prideful in thinking that, I can't be the only messed up person in this world.
Oh, no, that's
gotta
just
be
true.
other people.
Yeah.
And so if I'm not the only messed up person, then there's all you other people are messed up and you're hiding it very well. Yeah. But you feel the guilt and the shame that comes with knowing that you sin and fall short of God's glory. And you think that running away is going to help you, and it ain't going to help you. Yeah. The only, like, the whole thing about the gospel is the person that we feel we need to run away from, God, because we violated his commands, is the same person we need to run to. Because even though, yes, we have violated his command, he provided a way for us to be saved. Yeah. And God is, since the Old Testament, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love, right? He doesn't, like, he is more than willing to save anybody that comes to him. Yeah. And I think that, like, when people have a misunderstanding of what it means to be a Christian, that being a Christian means, like, I got everything in order. I got everything working properly in my life. I am living and life is going well. When that is Christianity, right? When life is all well put together, I don't struggle with any doubt. I don't struggle with any sin, or the sins I struggle with are in the past tense, right? Never present tense sins. Yeah. Right. Then people who are struggling with sins, who are looking at their life, go, maybe that's not for me. Because I can't relate to that, right? Yeah. And I want to just say, that's all of us. Yeah. That's all of us.
Yeah, and I just gotta say that. And a lot of them, I didn't understand it. Yeah. That's why it was relieving to hear some stories from, you know, some Christians about how they're struggling, not how they struggled, because I feel like in the churches I went to, they always talk about their past struggles. I was a drug addict on the streets, and now look at me, I'm a pastor in this church.
Look at me.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of like,
look what you can be.
Yeah, it's like that. Look, you know, and now I have this house and this wife, and I'm just like, you know, you leave the service feeling empowered, then you go and sin. and you're like, okay, clearly it's not for me. Clearly this is not the life I'm supposed to be living. So it's so important for people out there to understand that we're struggling too. Except who are you going to for your struggles? Mm-hmm. Where does your peace come from? Mm-hmm. You know, like, and it sucks. It just sucks. It's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, like, that's what I don't want. I don't want people to, like, I'm way more okay. I'm a pastor too, so I'm way more okay with people. I want them to, if they choose to reject something, I want them to reject the gospel.
Yeah.
I don't want them to.
No, you don't. I know. Yeah.
But if you're going to reject something, reject the gospel as presented. Yeah. Don't reject the prosperity gospel. Don't reject the gotta be religious gospel, right? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, don't reject the workspace gospel. All these other gospel pictures that aren't beautiful to me, they aren't good to me, mm-hmm. right? Like workspace, you got to give this much, you got to do this much, all these things, right? Like I don't want that. So like one of the things that I think the church has to do a good job of is be clear on the gospel.
Yeah.
And what it is, you know?
Yeah.
And it feels like, just as a pastor, I keep saying that. I don't know why I keep saying that. But it feels like every week I preach the same thing in a sense.
Yeah.
Or I'm highlighting the gospel. But the reason is the gospel is so important and it's so crucial for people to understand what exactly is the gospel. What is this gospel that I don't like? Mm-hmm. Or what is this gospel that I believe in?
Yeah. Right? And it's like they need to know that, because how can you reject when I'm telling you that everything you feel dirty about, everything you feel guilty about is done? Come to Christ. Just come to Christ. How can you reject that? And the devil works, but if you know that, like how you said, just tell them the gospel, then when they reject that, then it's like, okay, it kind of like becomes clearer and, you know, mm-hmm. but
at least they know.
But at least they know.
Like when I hear people are like, man, I feel like they came from a church that was like, it's all about money or something like that, mm-hmm. right? Like something like that. Or there's abuse of power and authority. And, or there was like a heavy-handed approach to like members of the church where the pastor could do whatever he wanted, right? I'm like, yo, give the church, give the gospel a shot.
Yeah.
Or something. You know, like that was not it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you might not like it still.
Yeah.
You might still rather sin and live in your sin.
100%.
But what you're rejecting is not the gospel.
Yeah.
So give it a shot.
Yeah. Then come and tell me.
Yeah. Then come and tell me.
Then I'll figure out where to place you in my life.
Yeah. Then we can go down the apologetics route.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And start talking about all the arguments for the existence of God and things like that.
Yeah.
But until then,
yeah. And
let's just get clear on what we're talking about here.
And that's what my husband used to tell me, because I used to go over the years. I'd hear all these arguments online, and I'd be like, hey, this guy had like one. It's so stupid now, but I said, this guy is talking about how the Bible's not real and doesn't mention dinosaurs and this and that. All these who cares things. And all he told me was like, he didn't even want to acknowledge that dude. Or, you know, because I was like, what kind of response do you have to that? And it's like, that's not even like, that's why you think the Bible's not real? Or that's why you think God's not real? Because there's no dinosaurs? Like he said, like he wouldn't even get into a conversation with someone unless they knew the gospel, unless they knew what we were really, you know, conversing mm-hmm. about, like going back and forth about. If you don't know that, then it's like,
yeah, now
it's a whole different conversation we have to have if you don't know that.
Yeah. Like that's the basics, right?
Yeah.
Like let's just get
now
there.
I know.
Yeah, let's just get there. Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So what is it like? What has it been like for you with just kind of getting through all of that and getting married, becoming a mom, your whole past experience being raised and your own mom not being there when you were kind of a kid, mm-hmm. being raised by your great grandparents.
Yeah.
How has that affected the way you deal with your son? And is it?
I'm just so happy that I found Christ before I got married, before I had a kid. I'm not sure what life would have looked like, but I don't think it would have looked this good. Marriage isn't easy. That's first and foremost. But when you understand God's design, which I knew beforehand, I feel like you can't do nothing but get through it. You know, I mean, I know there's some instances or whatever where it can, you know, you do know what it is and it just happens the way it happens. But there's that, like, and I'm so grateful for that, because because when I came to Jesus, my whole mind about having a family changed, and I just want to keep that. I want my family, and all this and that. My son, well, I just want to raise him up in Jesus. I want to do the exact opposite of what the people raising me did. I want to train him in the way that he should go. And I also want to be present. My mom, I love you, Mom. I love you so much, but you weren't present, and so that affects. Even if I'm more mature than the other kids, even if I can understand it and I'm forgiving, it still affects the way my day-to-day goes, learning things. I want to be so present for my son. I want his dad to be present. We grew up in a culture where that's not glorified, I think, enough, so I'm so glad I got to know God before I did these big things, because it's big.
That's big.
Getting married and having a kid, it's big.
Yeah.
So I love it.
And I did want to just encourage you to, and just thinking about your mom too. And like I said, I'm so grateful because you guys, just to me from the outside, you guys have a great relationship.
Yeah.
You love your mom, your mom loves you. You can tell your mom loves you.
Yeah.
But even then, like one of the best parts about the gospel, one of the best parts about God, right, is his sovereignty. And the fact that even though you feel like you lost so much time, and even though you feel like, there are times when just your mom was struggling with her own things, and she had stuff going on, and you have stuff going on, and you had to pick up the pieces, do your thing. At the same time, like, God is so good and he's so sovereign that even those things can work out for good. And even those things can turn, like, your relationship with your mom can be just this amazing, beautiful thing. And like, a part of the gospel story, the experience isn't just the forgiveness. Yeah. It isn't just like the refuge you get in Jesus, but it's also the fact that you get redemption. You know what I mean? And so even for like people that are struggling with addiction, because my wife, and our families, at times we know people that have struggled with addiction. Yeah. Even in my wife's family. And it's a fight to believe it, but you have to believe it, because it's true that redemption is just as much available to people as the forgiveness is. Yeah. And I'm talking about like whatever feeling you have of yourself and whatever you feel about the past mistakes that you made. When God sees you, he sees you as he sees his son, if you believe in him. Yeah. And he sees you as beautiful and pleasant and good and gracious. Like, and he's just ready to be gracious to you. And what the world sees as like mistakes, and what the world sees as like used goods, whatever, whatever, like you wasted all this time, God sees as beautiful, and God can do a lot of work with that. God can do so much more out of somebody submitted to him, no matter what, like what the last 20, 30 years have looked like. Yeah. God can do more with you than he can over somebody who thinks they're too prideful and they have it all together to come to God. You know what I mean? Yep. And to me, that's the beautiful part about it, Like, there's so much that people who have struggled in the past with their mistakes, and that passage from 1 John sticks out to me, that if we confess our sins, just talk about our sins to God, right? If we confess our sins, he's faithful and just to forgive us our sins. Yeah. He's faithful and just to forgive you for all the stuff you did, and he's faithful and just to forgive you your sins and to cleanse you from all unrighteousness. Yeah. Right? All the things that make you feel dirty, all the things that make you feel sinful, all the things that make you feel like, man, if people knew this about me, they would be ashamed. Well, as a Christian, you don't have to walk in shame. Don't. At all. You
don't. And man, it's a good feeling, guys. Yeah. It's a really good feeling.
Like the Apostle Peter, right? Abandoned Jesus, rejected Jesus, and after being impacted by, seeing Jesus resurrected, being empowered by the Spirit, stands up and preaches to 3,000. How are you going to do that? You just denied him. Yes. Right? The Apostle Paul, you killed a bunch of Christians. How are you going to show your face over here and talk about Jesus? And you just show up.
But you do. Up. Yeah. And people, I've had that said to me before in a nice way, because friends, it's like, oh, people are not going to take you seriously. Hello, look at how you used to live. And I'm like, yeah. And I feel like, one, I'm free of that. That can't hold me down. Two, shouldn't you listen to me more then? I've been where you were, like where you are. I've been where you are, like, and look, and I'm here now, and I'm not giving you the fake story of, but if you just do this, like I don't know what to call it, the prosperity gospel. I'm not giving you that. I'm not giving you works-based nothing. Like, this is all I'm telling you, recite the gospel and look at me. Like, don't you think that's pretty awesome? And I think that's cool to just be an example to these people too. Yeah.
What would you say to, again, we talked about this yesterday, but what would you say to yourself? Taking care of your siblings, 4th grade, Stasha, like, what would you say? You came across her, what do you say?
What are you wearing? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, snap.
No.
I wish I had a button to say that.
In 6th grade, I was most likely to be rich and famous, okay, and best dressed.
At Honowai?
Check the yearbooks, okay. I was fly in my Walmart clothes. I was fly. But
you know what's funny? I hated Walmart clothes. Didn't want to wear them. I wanted to wear the fancy stuff from Ross, okay. But I'd be rocking Walmart clothes now.
Yeah.
I love them.
They're so expensive.
They're expensive now, but they're still cheaper than what's out there.
Than department stores, they say. Yeah,
yes, but bro, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, Walmart is awesome.
Yeah, they got like $2 tank tops in every color. I love it.
Walmart
you wouldn't even know someone's wearing one. That's the thing. Like, you don't know if you know how to put your outfit together. These people don't know.
Oh, I don't know how. I just don't know.
I mean, but after a certain age, it's all about comfort anyway. Yeah. So, but what I would tell her is to just keep going. That it's hard. No, this isn't the typical life a 4th grader should be. You shouldn't be doing all of this, but it's going to pay off in the end. Like, there is a plan. God has this amazing plan for you. It might take you a few bumps in the roads, all that, but it's so worth it. And I would say that I feel like, okay, maybe not. I don't know. I wouldn't know. But I feel like even if I wasn't here now, I feel like somebody should tell her that, because when you come to Jesus, like, even if you don't see it in this lifetime, it's not about this life. It's like the next. Like, you're going to be so, it's worth it. Like, just keep going down that path. Find God. Do everything you can to stay close to him. And you can never lose. Do what God's word is telling you to do. You can never lose. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, I think about it like, there's kids right now that are going through that, like there's kids right now that are going through that, and we don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes we don't know who they are. We don't know what situation they're in. And there's so much brokenness in the world.
Oh, yeah. And going through worse than that,
Yeah.
So and I just want to, I pray for the world every night, because it's one of those, you pray for one thing, and, you end up praying for everybody in the world, saved, unsaved, whatever. But I hope someone's there for that kid. Yeah. And I hope they come to Jesus. I hope they're the elect,
Yeah, we don't know who they are.
Yeah,
we don't know the elect.
We don't.
That's what I'm saying to you.
It might not be me, and it might not be you.
No,
we just don't know.
No, I believe in Jesus, okay? Am I part of the elect? Absolutely. Absolutely. Just because if I'm not, then I'm not. But
yeah.
I'm telling you, if they're in my life, I'm like, I'm just going to assume you trying to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume that God wants to save you, because
I think that too.
The gospel has the power to save. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep sharing it with you.
Yeah, you can be a totally different religion, no religion. You're here because I need to tell you this.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. What you went to Honowai? How was that? How's Honowai?
I love Honowai. I don't know how it is now, but I loved it. It was I was gonna say my favorite school. It's my only school, but from preschool to 6th grade.
You was there preschool?
Yeah, but my mom went there too.
Wow. Yeah, your mom went Honowai?
My mom went to Honowai.
Oh, so your mom is Waipahu through and through.
She's a Waipahu girl.
94 block.
94 block. Yeah, all that.
The best.
Yeah. So I loved it though. I thought our principal was voted, best principal in the nation. I think like 2 years in a row. Mr. Young, was he principal with you guys?
I don't know, probably.
Mr. Young and Mrs. Renge was the vice principal.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, I was on TV in 2nd grade. I was a really smart, like
2nd grader. No,
like I was supposed to skip the 2nd grade. Oh,
for real?
Yeah, that's how smart.
Oh,
like,
what?
I want to say I was, because I'm just not into all of it anymore. But like, I'm just being a wife and a mom. But but I was on TV because one of our teachers, one of the 5th, 6th grade teachers at a time, he wrote a book, and they wanted somebody to read the book on TV. Like the news people were there, and it was me, because I could read higher. And I don't know if they wanted to just like show off or something, but Yeah. So I was at the cafeteria on the stage. My classmates, they were playing the characters in the book, and I'm reading on the microphone, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh!"
Man.
I always forget about that, but yeah.
Wow.
I forget what the book was about animals, kind of like, yeah, but it was by Mr. Villanueva.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
that was
crazy.
cool. I loved Hawaii, all the activities. Sadly, I only went to A+ like 2 days. I wanted to go to A+, but
A+ was horrible
that's
for us, for me and my brother.
'cause
Bro, we just wanted to get out of there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, I didn't like A+ at all. Like, I just wanted...
because
you skipping Dragon Ball Z, first of all. You skip Dragon Ball Z.
why.
Second of all, you're at the school, like, till late. And my mom would get off at 5. So my mom's getting there, like...
Yeah.
It's the
everybody's
end.
Going, yeah.
Everybody's going home. So we're
Yeah.
always the last one.
Dang.
Man, and I just felt like kids are mean.
Oh.
Kids are so mean. You're probably one of the cool kids.
Yes.
Yeah, not me. Like, yeah, we were.
Really?
No.
This is
not at
so
all.
crazy.
Not at all. I'm Samoan Filipino, and that was like a rarity back then.
Oh yeah.
So like,
I feel like
you're like,
even
are you Samoan? No, you're Filipino. Okay, are you Filipino?
and because
no,
you
you're
look
Samoan.
Filipino too, yeah. Like
Yeah.
you don't, yeah.
Nah, I look more like Filipino. This
Back
is before
then.
Manny Pacquiao, okay?
Yeah,
Things
yeah.
was different before
Yeah.
Manny Pacquiao, okay?
Yeah,
Things was
that's
different,
true.
bro. Not like I
That's
see everybody
true.
like standing up like, hey, Pinoy.
Yeah.
Hey, Filipino. I'm like, bro, this is before Will I Am.
Yep.
The
Oh
Black Eyed
my
Peas.
gosh,
The guy was Filipino. Before Manny Pacquiao.
Yep.
Right? It
Before-
wasn't like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
I had
It
that Manny
wasn't.
Pacquiao haircut and it wasn't cool.
Oh, I know what kind of Filipino kid you're talking about. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. I don't think that was intentional. I just think I never got a haircut.
Oh, yeah. And you have straight hair, so it kind
I
of
got
grows that
straight
way.
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Man, kids was just mean.
They were mean.
Yeah.
Like, oh, people are crying. People are like the things at such a young age that these kids know, like the words that they know, the names that they know. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad. Yeah.
Man, yeah, so A+ is overrated. Don't worry about A+.
Okay.
It was junk.
Well, it was a great school. Loved it. Loved the lunches. Loved the breakfast. I loved.
Bro, you know what's the... Did you like Waipahu Intermediate?
What do you mean?
Did you like
The
Waipahu?
lunches?
No, did you like Waipahu Intermediate overall?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's go
Yeah,
back.
I think so.
Let's go back to the lunches. Do you remember the Waipahu wiki?
Oh, wait, high school.
No,
Wait, they
Waipahu-
had an
no,
intermediate?
Intermediate wiki, yeah.
Oh, wow. I might have never.
And remember the musubis with the luncheon meat?
No, because I
You guys never had
ate
that?
No, I didn't eat lunch in intermediate. It was straight past. You can ask, like, Carmen.
Why wouldn't you eat
All
lunch?
of us, none of us ate lunch, I think. Like, we just went straight to the bleachers and hung. I don't know. I don't think I was just not hungry. I don't know.
You never ate the... So they used to have these spam musubis, but they weren't spam. They were
Wow.
luncheon meat. Fat luncheon meat. And we would all...
Jealous.
And it, you know what? It's gross now.
Yeah.
When I think about it. But we was dipping that musubi in ranch.
Oh, yeah. That does sound gross. But
Yeah.
I'm open to trying
Yeah.
it. Wow. And so where did they serve the wiki? Like in the cafeteria?
like, there's the
Oh,
main
and you guys had the
cafeteria.
old cafeteria.
Yeah, not the new one.
Yeah.
So it was in that blue one
Yeah.
where they had all the assemblies too. And it was like
Yeah.
on the... Yeah, on the other side. It was
Oh,
just, yeah.
wow. Because I know the high school did. They always had chili bowls by the gym. But wow.
Yeah, but you do wiki and then you could do lunch. Well, wiki was cheaper, I think, is what it was.
Oh, and you guys had to pay for your guys' lunch?
Yeah, me and my brother had to pay 10 cents.
Rich kids. Only rich kids pay for their lunch. Nah.
Ah, I see all the kids
Just
like,
kidding.
bro. No, but there was this one guy. He used to get free lunch, and then you can get... So if you get a free lunch, right? If you're on free lunch,
Yeah.
you get free lunch, and then you get a reduced lunch for your second plate, bro. So he was like bringing his
do
coins.
remember that,
and he would
yeah.
order his free lunch, and then he would go get like his reduced lunch. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, bro, lucky guy.
Yeah. I do
He had
remember
money.
that.
But remember at Waipahu you could buy like fruit punch and stuff like that from that snack store? Remember?
Waipahu High School?
Intermediate.
Dang, no. I didn't eat until after school. I had the same order, 6 pork ash with a 32 ounce of Sprunch.
From
Sorry.
that gas station?
From Chevron?
Chevron?
They have the best pork ash in the world.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Not
feel
the
like that
best.
kind of X's you out.
I feel like 7-Eleven has better pork hash than that.
No, not their jalapeno ones. Bomb, because it tastes just like Chevron's regular ones.
Oh, I don't know.
Wow, I can't believe. I feel like you're the first person that
I never
ever...
went to Chevron. I ate at Harry's all the time.
Oh yeah, That
Harry's,
too.
that was bomb with
It's
the fried,
great.
the noodles and the
Yes.
French fries.
Yes.
And you put ketchup and sriracha on top.
That was awesome.
That was good.
So,
Yeah, I liked my Poly Intermediate. After that, my experience was totally different.
yeah,
Went to
same.
Yolani, so
Oh, yeah. Well,
that was
my
different.
experience was just, but yeah, I loved my Power Intermediate.
Yeah.
I loved, it was cool. Except the whole paying $5 for a new ID every time you lose it. That sucked because I lost it a lot.
Yeah.
But no.
You remember the turkey trot?
Yes.
I want a turkey.
Because you have to be what? The first three,
The first
5?
3.
Wow.
I was number 2. I want a turkey.
Oh, so you're with athletic.
I want a turkey. I'm just put that. I want a turkey.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember
want a
turkey
turkey.
trot. I don't even know if I went all the way
Yeah,
around.
that was the athletic achievement of my life, winning that turkey.
That is so crazy.
Bruh, my mom was so proud of me.
I
Because I
bet.
brought a turkey home.
And they weren't small turkeys. I remember this girl won one. It was like full
Yeah, it was
size.
a full-size turkey,
Yeah. Oh, why
took-
did we have that? I
have no
forget.
idea. It was turkey trot for
Was
Thanksgiving.
it just because Thanksgiving?
Yeah, and then we
No.
all it was part of like the PE curriculum or something. It was
Yeah.
you could compete in the turkey trot, and then there was 2. There was the race one, and then there was the one you tie like the timing one.
The timing one. Yeah.
Get close to your time.
Yeah.
I did the race one.
Wow. I would never.
Yep.
I'm not athletic though, so.
Yeah, I want a turkey. That's my crowning achievement. My mom was so proud of me for winning that turkey.
Any mom would be.
She was
man.
proud. Like I would just I just came up with the cure for some disease. Like
Yeah, I mean,
my mom was like,
'cause,
"Oh my goodness, you're so
like you saved Thanksgiving.
I say Thanksgiving.
So,
Proud.
I mean, who knows? You might have just saved Thanksgiving.
We got a turkey.
Yeah.
We got a turkey.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Are you guys living in Village Park at this time or still in Oasis?
Village Park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we're already up here in Village Park. So
Oh, wow.
yeah. I love Village Park, but it
Yeah.
wasn't the same as living as a kid. I had probably more fun in
Why not?
Waianae too, yeah, because Waianae we lived in an old house with all my cousins.
Oh, yeah. So you have so much people to
you have
play with.
people to play
and all
with.
that.
And the
Yeah.
first time you move to a house by yourself in the burbs,
Yeah.
yeah, and then you realize nobody plays outside. We're on a main road.
Mm-hmm.
All we got is me and my brother
Yeah.
to play with. Doing laps around Kapuna Loop got old fast on our bike.
Yeah. No, I grew up in the suburbs, and I used to beg my great grandma, can we just move to the blue apartments?
Yeah, we're
Can
out.
we
Yeah,
just move to Oasis? Because you hear all your classmates and everybody's walking down after school. They're all going to the same place, and I gotta walk straight. I wanted nothing more than to live in the blue buildings. All my friends were there. Oh gosh, it just sounded like so much fun.
It was fun. Though.
I bet.
Like when you walk to school, you're walking with everybody.
Yeah.
From down, you walk up the hill.
Yeah.
You walk down with everybody, and then you go home and everybody's outside playing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never.
That's the best. Like even my friends that grew up Pupole, things, they all have fun because they all grow up together.
Yep.
When you live in the neighborhoods, you don't really grow up together. Because it's
You
awkward.
don't.
In Hawaii, that's one thing I wanted to ask you.
What?
In Hawaii, did you go into people's houses before?
No, you were not allowed.
Exactly. You ever had a family where you and your family went over and had dinner at somebody else's house?
No.
Exactly.
That's true.
So
Wow.
because we're in the church now, yeah.
Yeah.
And so the
it's
church is
now
we want to invite you into our house. Bro,
Yeah.
was that awkward for you guys? For you
for
starting
me,
off?
100%.
It was
So
awkward for us too.
yeah, it's still awkward.
Yeah.
It's still awkward. We just had our first care group, and it's nothing to do with the people. It's just me. I'm just I feel like I don't even know what to do. I don't know how to act.
Because you
It's
stay in
just
the
so
garage.
awkward.
When you go in the garage or you stay outside your friend's house.
You stay
and
outside. Yeah.
Yeah, you go by the door, hi, but you never go in somebody's house.
Yeah, and even if the mom's like, come inside,
Yeah.
you have your
Your
great
own-
grandma in the back of your head.
Don't go in their house.
Yeah, you better not go in their house.
Yeah.
And but then you bring your friend over, and your great grandma's like, oh, tell her to come in the house. If she it's because it's just, I think one, that's a nice thing to do is to invite people over. But yeah, I don't know if it was safety.
Yeah.
Was it
I don't know.
safety?
No, I think so. I think we just didn't go in
Just
people's
respect.
houses.
I don't know. Yeah.
Respect too.
Yeah, and we weren't having dinners. We weren't setting the table. The I don't know.
Bro, I never had dinners.
Yeah.
Set the table, have dinner with your family. Bro, we was dinner on the go, dinner on a run, or are we all sitting around?
Yeah.
But I never we did. There are times when we did sit down for dinner, but it was rare. Like most of the times we're just on the go having dinner. Like we never sat down. You know, like you watch the movies, everybody's sitting down. And, can I be excused?
Yeah,
you know, I'm like, bro, that was not at all what we had.
Yeah. Well, we had.
If I asked my dad, can I be excused? He'd be like, what? Why? What in the world? Go
do what you gotta do.
Put your plate in the sink.
Yeah.
And go wash your hands. Get out of here. What are you doing?
I don't care. But ours was dinner. We had dinner always at like 6:00.
Yeah. Oh, for real?
But it wasn't a whole family. It was me and my sisters eating dinner, and everybody else is just doing what they're doing. Then after dinner, we shower, and then we get ready for.
Plus, I think we were playing sports, so we were just out of the house.
Yeah.
So we're just out of the house. We're not even home at 6. So.
Wow. What a different life.
But you see, my kids, they play sports now, so they don't get home till 7, 7:30. Yeah.
That's so fun. I think that's so.
Yeah. So they're always out, and so like dinner's on the go or dinner's like fast.
Yeah.
We got to get them fed and like go sleep. But like my kids love sports. But yeah, for me, it was awkward. Like when I first started going to like church where there was like different people.
Yeah.
You know, different people.
People.
People from the mainland, you know, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. I wasn't used to like somebody invite me over their house. It just felt so awkward. And then I remember going and like, what do I do? Do I sit down on their couch? Do I, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, what do I do?
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was, but I kind of feel not ugly in their house, but like I feel like I'm kind of just like taking up so much space when I go in people's houses. I don't know what it is.
What in the world?
It's kind of like.
What do you think I feel like?
No, but like I don't know what it is, and I just got through talking about this with Carmen because I'm just like, when you go into these people's house, I kind of like automatically feel like I don't know, like
you're
I have
intruding on their space.
Yeah,
you're encroaching on their space.
Yeah, and I feel like they feel that way, which I know they don't. Hello, you wouldn't have invited me, but I just kind of feel like I want to, wherever they sit me, wherever they say take a seat, I want to just do this. Yeah, like that's how I feel.
I'm seated right here.
I'm seated. I won't touch anything. You know, like that's how I feel. Yeah. Man,
and then like
I've always felt like that when you go in people's houses.
So like I think the thing that helped me though, like I remember being when I came to Hawaii and people started inviting me in the house, that was like strange for me at first, right? Yeah. That was strange. But I think what helped me is I was in the mainland, and so I had to go over people's houses. They would invite me over. Yeah. But bro, it was so hard. I didn't know what I could do. Yeah. Like, what can I do in this house? Yeah. They tell me sit there. I'm just seated there like just. Yeah. I'm just gonna sit right here the whole time. I ain't gonna move, you know.
Maybe it's because we weren't allowed to go into people's
houses. Yeah, we just so awkward. Yeah, maybe it's just
so we're like, what is it called? Traumatized. Because look, I came in today and I'm just like sitting on the
dining like waiting up here. Yeah, so like I was waiting. Station and I was supposed to record this podcast because we, again, like I said earlier, we like somehow lost all the footage from the podcast. Yeah. So we come up here. I come up here. I'm getting ready, and the doorbell rings. So you're here. I open the door, close the door. Boom. You come inside. You're like, oh, here's the shirt. Boom. Right. Go down. I go on upstairs. I'm like, just doing my work, waiting for Stasha, waiting for them. She's not even here. Like, oh, Stasha, you can come and see. Like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just feel like I need to be. And
so
it shouldn't even feel that way. Were you just sitting in
the dark?
No, I was at. I don't think it was the dark. Maybe I don't even know. The lights were off? I just found a seat. I said hi to grandma. I don't even know if she was up or not, but it's just like, oh, I'm just going to sit right here and just wait for the call. It's just much more safer that way, I feel like. Yeah. Because then what if I did come up here and you're like, oh, no, you can wait and then until I'm done. And I'm like, oh, my gosh.
Feel embarrassed.
Yeah, now I feel stupid. Like, I should have just sat down. Yeah. So it's such an awkward thing. But I guess the different people, they've probably been doing it all their lives because they're so good at it.
Yeah. Like I just wasn't allowed to go to my friend's house, and they didn't come in my house. I remember the first time my brother and I had a friend like come over our house. He was like, "Oh, I'll come over." I was like, "Okay, cool." And he came over, to the door, and then like you see him outside the screen door. Yeah. And he opened the screen door and came in. I was like, "Oh, this is awkward." He was like, "What's up, guys?" I'm like, "Bro, what are you doing in here?"
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh?
Wow, takes some guts, man.
No, but I'm saying that he was used to going in people's houses and I wasn't, until I came an adult. Yeah. In the church even, I'm like, now it's fine for us.
Well, I think we get used to it.
Yeah, we got used to it and we have people in our house all the time now. Yeah. But going into other people, having people over my house was hard before, like, I felt weird hosting it. Like, you feel like you gotta entertain them. Like, because, like local people, we just laugh about stuff and we tease each other. Yeah. That's kind of how we get our entertainment. But like when you have guests over, you're like, And I know from going to their house, right? Like when I go over, okay, boom. Oh, we're gonna play apples to apples. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but you coming over my house. I'm sorry, I ain't got apples to apples. Can you play speed?
Yeah.
Can you play dominoes?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
do you like Overdrive Live? Because we can put that in. Yeah. We can put it in. They love that music. They love that kind of music.
See, I can't do Overdrive Live. Bro, if you remember Overdrive Live.
I don't see 16.
The worst music videos.
The worst.
Like even they'll take a great song. A great song.
OPE pickers. They would take OPE pickers.
I know that guy.
Yeah.
They're great. Awesome.
Yeah.
But why are you skating?
Yes. In your jammies.
And the crossfades.
Hey. Yeah. But that's true. But it's the spiky hair too. The spiky hair with the
blonde,
gel.
the tips.
What was it? The puka shell necklace.
Singing about the club and the kids there. You get all your kids, Ohana, in the videos.
Oh my gosh.
Got Uncle Norm dancing in Mililani Town Center.
He just wanted to watch a movie, Uncle.
Yeah.
I feel like it had to have
but
happened.
It was good though. I love those.
It's the classics. You put that on, you know the moves, you know,
Yeah.
But I want to say that music video happened. Like he must have said, "Hey, everybody, we're about to shoot a music video. Come, like, right? I don't know, because they kind of looked like they were settled in to watch a movie, like." And he was like, "Hey, we're just gonna, you know," and it's local people. We're like, "Okay, we're down."
We're gonna do the electric slide, a modified version, of course, of the electric slide. We're gonna ride the pony.
Yeah. I know the entire dance.
I'm a hater. I'm not a hater on the music is amazing, but the music video was just a different time. But you know what? I look back at it after thinking with clarity one whole night. You know what? There's appreciation for
100%.
That's what Hawaii had to go. That's what we had to go through to get to the green. And if that's what we had to go through to get through the green, then that's okay with me.
That's true, because who else was on Overdrive Live? Next G. Okay.
And he was on there as the kid.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, he's the kid. He is, So, I mean, that's how, you know, it happens.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah. Hawaii music.
Hawaii music,
Gotta
everybody.
love Hawaii music.
You have to.
What'd you think about Iem Tongi? Did you like it?
Yeah.
Did you, when you watched it, when you first watched what'd you feel?
First of all, I cried. The audition.
The audition?
Yeah. I cried, but besides all of that, I think at first, I'm going to admit, I kind of was like, oh, duh, he can sing. Like, it kind of sounded like, I think I wasn't listening too good because I felt like, oh yeah, he kind of sounds like the people I went to school with. They sound good too to me. But then he sang, hey, what was his last? Cool Down? And I was like, shut up. Like, and I love Kalohe Kai, but Cool Down's not my favorite. You made it my favorite. And I love that. Yeah. I think he has a really good voice. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I can't even, like, the number of times I watched the video, the number of times Dad watched the video.
Oh no, my dad be watching that video.
Number one fan, I think.
He is I'm telling you, my dad is your number one fan.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
Well, I know. I remember watching that video. He can sing. Oh, I enjoy it was so cool to see. Like, is there a better community? I hate saying this because Waipahu is the best community. Is there a better community than Koku and what they got going on? Just their support. The kid doesn't even go to their school. They came out full support. He graduate
from
another school, but they let him walk with his class.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, they let him do that.
That's so cool though.
That's crazy.
Like the support. You know what I mean?
From everything I hear about Kahuku is that. So
yeah, but like, bro, every city should support their kids like that. Waipahu should support your kids like that.
Yeah.
Every place, like like. That's a good example for how the community can come together. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
and
man,
they
let's
did it.
Support our people. Let's support our, Yeah. The state came on and put on for him. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. Man, my auntie then went to that Turtle Bay concert.
Yeah.
It looked crazy. I was like, wow. And they put that together in 2-3 days? I don't even know 3 days. Probably less than that. But
I love seeing that. I love when Koku comes out in full force and supports their own and their people. I just wish that everybody else would do that.
Yeah. I wish everybody else did too, and not just when it benefits them, because Iam's not here anymore. He's out. He's about to do these big things. And Kahuku's always going to be cheering for him.
They're still going to be
They're going to be right behind him.
Football season's coming up.
Yeah.
It's going to be popping over there again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
10 years, 20 years from now, that's a story they have forever. Like, that's how it should be, you know?
Yeah, it's a cool community out there.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about just the community aspect.
Yeah.
But, bro, Waipahu got that in droves, too.
And what?
We got that in droves.
Uh-huh.
Like, we got that community support, too.
Yeah.
Every time people drive by Waipahu High School during football,
oh, yeah.
they blow their horn.
Okay, so the
solidarity.
support when it comes to football games, I think is so crazy.
It's cool. Yeah, it's underrated. It's Waipahu
cool.
supports their kids.
I didn't even know, just
Their
so
community.
recently, I didn't know that people go and they don't even know, like, they're not related to the players. No. They're going because they're like, this is our city, this is our team. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I would go watch, and I wasn't even from, like, I didn't even go to Waipahu.
Yeah, yeah, but
I just
even,
like the community. I like the kids. Like, I like seeing the kids, and
yeah, and hopefully they win tonight, I guess.
Who they playing?
Campbell. Is it Campbell? Yeah. My sister, them are there.
What? So. And we're podcasting on that.
But see, I didn't even.
We're over here talking about community support. Be there for your people. The biggest game they play against their rivals, and we forgot.
But it's a preseason game.
But it's still for the cane knife.
True. So I don't know. But I was never into it like
I'm
that.
a poser from. I didn't go to Waipahu.
Yeah.
You pointed out I'm from Waipahu, but I didn't go here, so I'm a poser. But I still like support. Okay. My son is in the Waipahu district. Oh, you went there and you don't like?
I don't think it's like because I don't want to support them. I'm just not into football. But I didn't know that that's what was going on there because I'm even asking my sister, like, you guys don't even know anybody. And, you know, my brother's telling me, hello, that's not the point. And I'm like, oh. But I was never into, I wouldn't do sports growing up. I don't care about any sport that anybody is playing. So I think that's why.
You don't care about our jiu-jitsu?
I don't. All I know is never do it in our kitchen again. No, I'm just kidding.
You don't care about our jiu-jitsu?
No, I think it's cool. What I think, and I always tell my husband, like, I think it's cool that you have this like little community of guys that you're hanging out with every Tuesday.
Jiu-jitsu friends.
But I think that's cool. I think having a little community is important. So yeah, I think the support for Waipahu football is cool.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
When I used to go to games, it was because I was going to the school there, or I'm meeting up with friends there, or I wanted a Terry Burger. That's it.
Terry Burger's bomb.
It was so. I don't even know if they have that still, because I feel like we went one time and they didn't have the same menu. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
We had mochiko chicken at Yolani.
Of course, I don't even like mochiko chicken, so it doesn't even matter.
You don't like mochiko chicken?
I hate mochiko chicken. Your dad had the same response too, but it's like chicken that. The breading's like, I don't know, everything's so soft when you eat mochiko chicken. Like the breading around it is soft. I remember I was telling you, like, I don't like when the chicken breading comes off easily.
Do you like crunchy mochi? Because it's just mochi flour.
Crunchy mochi, I don't know. But I like regular mochi.
Because if I said that, like, hey, we're going to take this kind of mochi type texture, we're going to stick them on some chicken, you wouldn't expect crunchy mochi. I
don't know what crunchy. I don't think I've ever had crunchy mochi, but I'm not a big chicken.
No, that's what I'm saying. Me neither.
Yeah.
Mochi needs to be chewy, right?
Yeah.
So when you put mochi flour on chicken, it's gonna be chewy.
I guess so. I feel like my chicken. I feel like my chicken shouldn't be. Yeah, I shouldn't feel no chewiness when I'm eating my chicken. That's why I hate canes.
You don't like canes?
No, I'm the biggest hater. I feel like I don't like.
You're a hater
because the breading comes off so like it just slips right off, and it's like I don't know how to explain it.
That's the best.
Yeah, people are saying that's the best. I don't know. I think I like my foods on texture. That's why I don't like that soft textures. I love crunchy and hard and yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You need extra crispy. You need to ask them for extra crispy and then get some bobs.
That's probably what it is. Oh yeah.
Butter on both sides of the bread. Damn, I can't. I'm not eating.
I love their bread though. I love
their toast is bomb.
Bread. Oh my gosh.
Their toast
There's
is
another place I think they said that's kind of similar to their bread, but it's like, oh my gosh. I would go there and buy a box of bread from them.
Do you remember the Sizzler in Waipahu?
That's what it was.
The Sizzler bread.
Love Sizzlers. We went there all the time. We didn't ever eat out unless it was Sizzler.
But remember when Sizzler felt high class though?
Yeah.
Like it was like, bro, we dressing up.
Yeah.
To Sizzler.
Oh yeah.
With the Sizzler.
In our Sunday's best. Yeah. I feel like
you stand and they have the railings and it's
gold railings.
Gold railings. Made me feel special.
And the door you push through, it's just like I feel like it's the same scene it looked like on the Titanic, little bit like gold. Yeah. I love Sizzlers.
Fancy. Hot sizzling sirloin. Yeah. I'll be like, oh wow, all you can eat shrimp.
Oh my gosh, all you can eat bacon. Oh,
Bruh,
their
the
ice
buffet.
cream. Yeah. Oh, it was so amazing. I don't know what happened. Do you know what happened? Were they not making money? Because I feel like that's a lie, but maybe they weren't.
I don't know. Well, the last time we went to the Sizzler, the service was really bad.
Oh, maybe that's what happened.
The service it kind of like dropped off a little bit. The lady grabbed our cup from the top. You can ask my brother this. She grabbed our. She's like, "What you like?" I was like, "Oh, Coke." She like, "Coke." Okay, boom. She went and grabbed our drink. She's like, "Sprite." She just grabbed the top of the cup. Coke. Like I'm like, "Oh,
Ew, that's gross."
Hey, I got to drink out of that. Can I get a straw?
It did start to get dingy because my mom, for my brother, for her third kid, that's where her baby shower was, and I remember it kind of being like dark and dingy after a while. But so maybe
the Sizzler was the spot before.
It was.
Man, I like the Sizzler.
I feel like I don't know. Everybody was there. On Sundays too. And it was popping. It was
popping. It was the best place in Waipahu at the time.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, darn. Now it's a Hawaii, USA.
Is it Hawaii, USA?
Yeah.
And a Starbucks.
And a Starbucks.
So that whole thing was a Sizzler,
and an edible arrangements. Yeah.
That whole thing was a Sizzler. So it was bomb.
All of that. Oh, man. But have you ever been to a Sizzlers in the mainland?
No.
I went to the one in Seattle.
Bomb.
Trash.
Oh.
I was so mad because I was so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, they still have Sizzlers. Let's go. So me and my friend, we go. They don't have a buffet. I mean, they might have had a salad one. It's so quiet. No music's playing. You have 4 things to choose from the menu. I was so disappointed.
Oh, wow.
And I got spaghetti and meatballs because that's what I used to get at Sizzlers.
Yeah.
Like, you can make your own. So it came on the smallest plate. And it was noodles, sauce.
For real?
And like these tiny meatballs that they probably warmed up. It was, very bad.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah.
And shout out to Sizzlers.
Shout out to Sizzler. It went down in flames.
Yeah.
We miss you.
We do.
Miss you dearly.
Come back.
You are a big part of our childhood.
Huge.
A huge part. Like, right, if you lived in Waipahu,
Yeah, you knew Sizzler.
you knew Sizzler, and if you did it, then you knew Chance.
I almost
Chance
felt like it was
dope too. I like Chance.
Yeah, it was
By
more
the
popular
airport.
than Zippy's at one point.
Yeah,
oh,
bro.
yeah.
Remember Chance by the airport? I love Chance.
Yep. Oh, my gosh.
Man. Yeah, we still got Leeward, though, going strong.
We do.
Shout out Leeward Drive-In.
Yes.
Bomb.
Yeah, still going.
Do you like Leeward?
I love Leewards. Yeah. I mean, they have changed a little, but I like them. I'll still go.
Bro, Leeward.
Because you have to, like, the seeds, I mean, the food's not exactly the same.
But it's bomb, though.
But it's still good.
It's still
yeah.
good. I love that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I one time went to pick up an order, and a older man was there, and he was explaining to his lady, she came from all the way from Waianae to try their Belgian waffles, which I've never had.
I never had.
Yeah,
never
but
had
she
them.
said that's the word over there where she from Waianae, wherever in Waianae, is that they just have the best Belgian waffles.
I gotta go have that.
And he said, I've been living on this street in the back all my life since he was a kid. He's never had their Belgian waffles.
I gotta go order it now.
Yeah.
I gotta go try it.
I know. Let me know how it is.
Man, I'm gonna order that. But yeah, I love Leeward Drive-In.
Yeah. The slushies.
Slushies, the fish burger.
That was my field trip lunch. Every single field trip since
The bento?
preschool.
The bento?
The school lunch, the box school lunch.
Yeah.
I had the, remember school lunches, if you buy the school lunch for $1, then it's like the pastrami sandwich with the milk and stuff. I had that one time, never did after that. I was like, I want Leeward's.
Leeward's is bomb. K's bento?
No, I'm not a chicken eater, that's
Okay,
why.
yeah. Okay, no,
Yeah.
K's bento. Tanioka's bomb.
Oh my gosh.
I can't afford it. I can't afford you, Tanioka's, but you're bomb.
Still my favorite to this
But
day.
Tanioka's is bomb. I just go sneak away and I just go Tanioka's by myself.
You have to, because you can't afford for everybody
I
else.
can't afford for
Yep.
everybody else. I tried that, but I can't. One
Once
day,
you got food stamps, hit me
one
up.
day, you can get food.
Yes, that's how.
You can get
How?
Tanioka's food stamps.
Yes, of course they're gonna. Hello, they gotta. Yeah, you can get it. You can't get hot food, but that's the
No, who cares? I want the cold food. That's the stuff I can't afford. You can get poke from
you food stamps.
I need that in my life.
It's so good. They have the rice with the chopped up taco. Oh my gosh.
Bruh, it's bomb.
Oh my gosh, I want now.
Yeah, I can't afford it. They don't. The funny thing is, every time I want it, they're closed. Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's when I want it.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, they're closed.
Or way after they're closed. Like it's 5 p.m. and it's like,
Yeah, that's when you
dang, I
want it.
Tanioka's. Yeah.
And then if you go at 12, you gotta stand in long line.
Yeah, and it's hot.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
Man, Waipahu got some good food. Honolulu Kitchen.
They do, yeah.
They're pretty bomb.
Shout out to Honolulu
But
Kitchen.
all that
Love
said,
them.
we miss you, Sizzler.
We missed you, Sizzlers.
Sizzler got to come
Man.
back. Wow. Any last words?
No.
And that was fun.
Shout out.
You did it. It was good. It was
Yeah?
good. Yeah.
Okay, good.
It was good. Thank you.
Oh, was that a long episode again?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.